All right, I'll catch up. Usually on the weekends, I do like to talk to myself out loud. Right? I say out loud to try to emphasize how real it gets. You know, you say some shit in your head that's real. It still cuts you. But man, you say some shit out loud that's real. All right, it's like when you say it on the inside, it cuts, but it don't hurt in a way. But man, you say that shit on the outside, that shit hurts, bro. That shit hurts. I don't know what it is. I don't know. You fucking like the vibrations that you throw outside. I don't know what the fuck it is, but it hurts. So I like to do that. And my talks, they're kind of like structured, right? I talk about like what I'm feeling and man, you know, things that I want to like kind of get past or like feel like I blockages like or just the things in my head that I'm desiring, right? Like I don't ever want to be in a state of desire. Now, I'm not saying I shouldn't have goals or anything like that, but I don't want to be fucking living from lack, man. So yeah, I talk to myself about those things. After that, I talk about how I'm gonna go forward, what I'm gonna do, blah blah blah. You know, if I figure something out as I'm talking to myself, I let it out. And then I end on the positive, the good things I've also been feeling. The things like I feel good about, you know, anything I'm grateful for. New, right? There's so much new good out there. And right now I'm in the middle of the talk of the like feelings and blockages. I kind of don't want to go through what I already said about them, but we're gonna just pick up from here. Is it like lack of energy, right? Fuck, man. And then maybe it's not even lack of energy, but it's like a pursuit. You feel me? Like I know I got talent, I know I got this, but it's like a pursuing something. And then you're back in the same fucking hole. Pursuing what? You know? Pursuing what? And maybe I should just ask myself what's important to me. Right? Maybe that's my truth. And we all got our own different truths. And you know what? That's so fucking okay. So what's important to me? What's important to me is my health. And look. Hey, but maybe health isn't a fucking... Hey. Maybe I counterbalance it, right? Maybe I fucking... This keeps me so healthy up here. I'll take what it does here. You feel me? Whatever. But yeah, that's important to me. So as soon as I feel I get skinny or I feel like out of shape, I'm like, man, let me hop back on that horse and, you know, stay on that motherfucker for some time. And then I'll get off of it, I'm not gonna lie. Right? Health is important. Family. And letting them know how I feel about them. You know, it's like, man, I do love them, man. I want them to know I love them, you know, because one day we both won't be here. And I just want them to know how I really felt about them. And really anybody in my life that I feel anything towards. I want them to know how I really feel about them. So being able to express that and not being afraid of that. What else is important to me? As long as I feel like I'm like checking off the checklist in my heart, I feel okay, right? But that checklist in the heart, that reflects on the outside too. You know, you got a checklist inside your heart. Well, fuck, you're gonna go fucking cross that thing off by doing something in the physical world, and then, whoo, like that feeling sets in. It's like it checks its own self off. It actually don't even check itself off. It takes itself off the fucking list. Then you go add 5 fucking more things, right? To desire in a way. Or maybe I'm afraid. Maybe I'm afraid, right? Because you have to go through everything, right? You can't fucking, nah, it's not that, right? You just, well, let's bring that up and let's make sure that it's not that, right? So Fuck, maybe I'm afraid. Maybe I'm afraid of everything right after that fucking line. Right after that line of truly expressing yourself and like walking through life as fully yourself. And I say this because yesterday I'm telling ChatGPT this. And you know what? I do be big headed sometimes. I told ChatGPT, I was like, man, I bet you learned a lot from me, blah, blah, this and that. And it said some bullshit like, well, it's not because of the stuff that you say, but it's about how you can articulate what you feel. Because most people go, I was like, man, I know I'll be saying some good shit. And Tony, just because I can articulate what I feel. I know I could do that pretty well, but shit. Where my props? Where my roses, motherfucker? But it was this. That you should walk around life being completely who you are. So if you come across something, because how the fuck are you ever gonna learn by not acting like yourself? Not even a little bit like, even if you're just a little bit by yourself, you're not fully yourself. So the answers or reflection that you're gonna get back from the world, they're from this other fucking perception that you're giving off, this other, I don't know what it is, this other energy you're putting out. It's responding to that one. But it's not fucking real, man. It's a fucking, it's your imagination. Versus I walk around, and that's from fear too. Fear of being yourself. But what if I walk around just fully myself? Man, I know I ain't fucking perfect, but man, if I let life teach me about myself, man, I'd be a whole lot closer to perfect than anything else. Versus trying to live in fear of being myself, because fuck, it feels so vulnerable being so exposed. So what am I going to do from here? I think I'm going to practice being more of myself. And you know what? It has come a long way. I remember yesterday I see Bull, right? Yesterday I played in the Friday night tournament. I see Bull and he, say what's up to him from a distance. And then as I get closer, because I'm walking out the room, he goes, yo, Eddie. He calls me Eddie. I need to tell him, hey man, my name is fucking Edward or Tommy. Don't call me fucking Eddie. Alright. Man, look at this fucking ass I got on me. He goes, and this is just me building anticipation. Get to the point, Tommy. Get to the point. Maybe I like to build anticipation in my life, man. And look, this is why I know what it is. You feel me? Here I am leading into the positive, right? Alright, let me finish what Bull told me. Eddie, he goes, Eddie, are you alright? Hey, you've been different lately. You've been more quiet. He's like, I just want to make sure you're okay. Feel like some things have changed. Something along those lines. And I was like, yeah. Oh no, he goes, is it me or is it you? I said, man, it's probably me. Right? What am I going to do? Tell him it's him. I mean, I finally see how he is and stuff. And man, not in a bad way, but I just don't want to give my energy there. But it's also true both ways. You feel me? So it's about what truth you want to live in. Yeah, man. It's also you, Bull. But man, it's also me. I'm not gonna lie or give you the power that you throw my whole world off or anything. Like, no, it's me. I said, yeah, it's probably me. And he goes, why? And I said, well, I changed. And then he goes, why again? And I go, because that's what life asks of us every day. And I don't know when I told him that, because it was bang, 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 bang. Right, back and forth talk. Why? Blah, blah, blah. Why? Blah, blah, blah. And when I said that, he just kind of was like, oh, and I didn't even know. I was like, man, but that was real. You know what I mean? I didn't think of that. It just came from within. And so, when I start these talks, maybe that's me changing every day, right? Like I told Bull. And maybe I just don't realize it. It's all based on your perception. Man, there's ups and downs in life. Life is one big up and down. Right? The fucking year's an up and down. A month is an up and down. What I'm saying is there's an up and down in everything. Man, if you break it down, there's an up and down in a minute. There's a higher point of the minute and a lower part of the minute. So it's like, man, it's hard to tell where you're ever at in life, right? When you're on the up and down. I mean, based on feeling, right? Sometimes you just fucking know. But sometimes maybe you're fucking climbing up and you don't even know it. And you don't know it because you don't feel it, right? And now I'm not saying you're going to be blind when you fucking living in hell. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, hey, man. Fuck, sometimes you got to get to the peak so you fucking see the next thing. But just because you're fucking going up doesn't mean that you can fucking see through the mountain. You feel me? Man. And see, this is why I like having talks with myself, because I say shit like that. And then now it leads into more, I wanted to say truthful. I'm not even sure if that's right. And truthful? I want to think this, right? I'm reading today about Alan Watson. He's pointing out the differences between belief and faith, right? And man, belief is huge. And I have to read again what he says so I really like comprehend it, so I can really tell it. But he made them seem so far apart. And so it's all like, well, what is truth? You know? Maybe I shouldn't try to live in truth. Maybe I should just live in faith, right? Truths are my truths. That's what I started to realize. I say there's this universal truth out there. And there's one universal truth out there. It's not this thing and this law and this thing and what God said in the Bible here and here. No, and I'm not putting that down. But the one universal truth out there is faith. Faith in God. That's the one universal truth. Now you can say, oh, and this one. Man, that is just faith. And man, that one right there, that is just faith. And that is just faith, right? Like, you know, the Matthew verse where he talked about, you know, asking you shall receive, knocking the door will be answered, right? Man, that's faith. That's faith. That's telling you faith. That's pointing towards faith. That's faith in words. And now it makes me think, you know, when the disciples asked Jesus why he spoke in so many parables, right? So many, like metaphors. Because this thing I talk about cannot be understood in language, right? And so like maybe that's the closest you could get. And maybe that thing is just faith, right? But you go through all these verses and you could put a meaning behind the stories, but it's faith. It's faith. That's it. It's always faith, right? Daniel and the lions, then that's faith. Hey, whenever God says the man that saves his soul shall lose it, hey, that's faith. You've actually found your voice, you found your soul, but now you're afraid to express it and let it out. You don't have the faith, right? The faith that it's gonna be okay when you're vulnerable and fucking your spirit is fucking naked. Hey, that's faith. That's faith. So it goes like, well, what's truth? And it's so cool getting to this point because I remember like maybe 2 years ago having conversations with other people, and they'd be older people, and I say that because they have more experience, right? And I'd be talking and I always say truths and stuff, and this one guy, he always questioned truth. Well, what is truth? Blah, 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 this and that. And I was like, well, truth is something I feel, right? Man, I can make myself feel anything for the most part, right? I could trick the senses. And I say that to say this. It's my truth. Those are my truths. But the truth that's in the world, there's not a bunch of them, a boom, boom, boom. There's not a list of them. There's one, and it's faith. That's it. That's God asks you. That's all God asks you to have is faith. God don't ask you to do anything other than have faith. It feels good to get emotional like that. That lets me know that, man, there's that energy in me, and to get it out fucking feels good. It feels liberating. And you go around the fucking day and the next week a little bit lighter. And now I don't got as much baggage, and now I could be a little bit more present. And so, because I'm a little bit more present, I'm a little more less aware of my truths because I'm so caught up in this present. So when I'm living and what keeps me in this present, well, man, it's going to be faith. Bro, like, I think faith is something that rules us, even if you think it don't rule you, bro. Like, and you know, you can hit all these explanations with me. You can, bro. You could be scientific and, well, I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. But, hey, man, life is hard and life is suffering. So why don't I just go find a fucking green field and go lay out there and just fucking decompose? You know what I mean? Like, why don't I do that? Right? No matter what I believe in. Right? And yeah, you can say, oh, there's great things in the world. Yes, there is. There is. But I really believe that we live on faith, even if we're unaware of it. And you can say, well, I got people that need me, this and that. That's still faith that what you're about to do is going to work. It's going to alleviate them. It's going to, you know, it's going to help them. It's going to do something for them. That's faith. The faith to go every day, right? That's faith. I'm not trying to do anything in this talk. I'm just talking, bro. I'm just feeling myself, man. I'm just letting it out. But when I sit there and I say that to myself or say that to the camera, I think, man, maybe I am living in faith. Like, yeah, I feel like I am walking this path. But the reason I get up every day and entertain, like, some of the things in my heart is faith. It's faith. But then I'm not gonna lie, I think of the alchemist when he said, when the boy asked the alchemist, no, he asked the king. He asked the king, man, well, you know, he starts to, like, really recognize that voice in his chest. He asked the king, well, why don't people's hearts tell them to continue to follow their dreams? Why do they stop? And the king says, because following a dream makes one's heart suffer, and hearts don't like to suffer. And the boy told his heart, said, man, as long as I'm alive and as long as I'm living, please, heart, please never stop yearning to me for my dream, please. And it kind of feels like that. And it's because it's okay for me to feel all those other things. It's okay, man. It's okay. I feel all those other things, and I'm not saying I'm going to put myself through things. No. I'm just living life, I feel like, on a faithful path. Or what I feel on that path, that's up to me. Right? But in a way, I enjoy those feelings. Like the feelings of today. Because I'm not saying I live like this every day. This is just me, like, breaking down. Maybe when's the last time I had a talk like this? Maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Like, maybe even longer. Like this in depth, I don't know. It could be longer. Probably like 3 weeks, a month. But I've been living presently, more presently. But this is like the feelings that I've accumulated. Right? Some of the thoughts I accumulated, and now they're coming out. I just don't want to carry no baggage, bro. I don't take no baggage. I need to be refreshed, renewed. But I don't mind the things that I've been through on my path, because like those were the steps to the next level, and the next level is filled with different feelings. And then you know what? You walk up the stairs right there. Get up the stairs, man. Maybe I'm a little out of shape, right? But man, I get there because I just keep going, because I think that the stairs end. And then I get to this floor, and it's a floor with new feelings. And it's like, this is nice, and I enjoy it. And so I'm like, you're really aware of all the little things in there. And you can stay there. You can stay there because it's nice. But it's all like, let's go up with another set of stairs. And the stairs are a little bit longer, but if I just keep going, there's got to be another floor. God just wouldn't trick me, right? There's another floor. And you get to that one. It's like, oh, man. And so, like, the feelings of like, and yeah, I'm not talking about them like they're a bad thing. I'm just talking about them. But I would say that they're totally worth it. I feel like, some guy I know, he went to go tour. He plays in a band. He went to go tour for like 2 weeks. What was it? Had to be longer, right? And I couldn't tell you. I want to say it may have been like 3 weeks or something. He went and toured in Europe. And he was saying, man, I wish I did that every day, blah, 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 this and that. He's talking about his everyday life and how he's going to go do this for 3 weeks. He was all like, he was already saying, when I come back, it's going to be such a bummer, blah, blah, this and that. This is at work. It's going to be such a bummer. Come back, blah, blah. And I said, well, if you did that every day, I mean, like, you wouldn't know that. Now, how did I tell him? But I just thought, hey, what's going to make these 3 weeks special out there is that this isn't all the time. You know what I mean? Like, if life was all pleasure, bro. Like, pleasure would dole out, bro. It dole out. It's like having that knife and, all you're doing is cutting and cutting and cutting and doing what the knife's supposed to do. Cutting and cutting and cutting. Right? Man, that knife will still cut. It's still going to cut that banana. It's still going to cut whatever the fuck you're cutting. The fruits, vegetables. Hey. But sometimes before you cut the next thing, right? You got to sharpen it, bro. You got to sharpen it. Because maybe you don't want to fucking cut a banana forever. Maybe you want to cut a cactus. It's a little bit tougher. Right? Maybe you want to, and then after the cactus, you want to cut a protein. And you're like, after that, man, let me not even do protein. Let me do some crazy shit. I want to cut some fucking metal or something. Whoa, fuck, man. I might have to reinvent myself. This fucking kitchen knife ain't gonna cut this fucking metal chair. Right? Whew. But it's just the way I think. Right? My truths. But I do think that we should just live in faith. And I make this video and I don't even know if I'm gonna like sit there and rewatch it. It's at 24 minutes and 8 seconds now. I don't know. But it just feels good. It just feels good. I don't know, I just felt like the calling to do this. Sometimes you get like the calling to like write, like for me, I was like, I gotta write something in my journal. I heard it, whatever, go put it down. But now it's like, man, I just had this urge to get on the camera and speak, man. Maybe I will do the things that are frightening me right now, right? Not even frightening me. The things that I actually want to do right now, but I'm not doing them for safety reasons. Man, get the fuck. I feel like this is a raw ass talk. I'm in the fucking garage, right? Look at the clock. Talk about time, right? Something that don't exist, but man, we could tell it though. We could fucking tell it like a motherfucker. Um, I'm bullshitting about that one. I'm just talking. They got the Buddha. Oh, can't see the Buddha, but man, it feels fucking sacred. Like there's a Buddha statue, the Virgin Mary. There's an Indian with the eagle on his shoulder. You got the roosters right there, and then you also can't see them, but you got wolves, and then a bunch of statues of Jesus. It's pretty raw right here. You can probably hear like the outside noise, like life going on, and here I am, like still living life. I don't know. It's like my own world right here. It just feels really raw. Maybe we end it there.